Welcome to this explainer. All right, let's just dive right into this. If you're completely exhausted from sending out dozens of freelance proposals and hearing absolutely crickets in return, you are in the perfect place. Today, we're opening up the definitive playbook for landing high-quality clients on Upwork so you can finally escape that frustrating cycle of constantly being outbid. We've taken a hard look at what top-earning freelancers are actually doing and synthesized their ultimate golden rules for proposals to show you exactly how to write cover letters that, actually convert.
So take a look at this staggering number, 95%. That is the percentage of freelancer proposals that are instantly archived by clients on Upwork. No joke, they never even get a full read. The vast majority of freelancers out there are just falling into the exact same common traps. They're copying and pasting generic text and basically just throwing their hard-earned connects right down the drain. Our goal today is to make sure you're in that top 5% who actually land the big jobs.
Look, I know the struggle is real. You've probably felt exactly like this quote here. I don't want to spend a few days editing a 20-minute video for just $5. It's totally relatable, right? That's the shared reality and the massive pain point of working for practically nothing. When you're just starting out, or even if you're stuck in that intermediate phase, the platform can feel incredibly hostile. You're competing against hundreds of people, and it literally feels like a race to the bottom where clients want days of your specialized labor for the price of a cheap cup of coffee. But listen, it absolutely does not have to be this way. You just need a completely different approach. And here is that approach. We're going to walk through a clear, step-by-step masterclass today to transform those ignored cover letters into actual hired contracts. We're going to hit on targeting and speed, mastering those crucial first two lines, showing proof over promises, formatting for the skimmer, and finally protecting your actual business. Starting right off with Section 1, targeting and speed. Our very first golden rule is realizing that your success actually starts before you ever type a single word of your proposal. Because think about it, if you're applying to the wrong jobs, literally the best copywriting in the world isn't going to save you. It all comes down to how you filter your opportunities. The top earners out there strictly filter for clients who have verified payments. Period. If they haven't verified their payment method and have zero hiring history, you're just gambling with your precious connects. Also, you've got to avoid the temptation to just spam every single job on the feed. Target a maximum of 5 to 10 highly relevant jobs a day. And speed. Speed is absolutely critical here. Statistically speaking, you're about 80% more likely to close a client if you're among the first few people to apply. You might even want to consider using software alert tools like Upcat, for example, which notify you the very second a relevant job drops so you can be first in line. Moving into Section 2, mastering the first two lines. This brings us to our second golden rule. And honestly, if you take only one single thing away from this entire explainer, please let it be this. You absolutely must master the first two lines of your proposal. This is the most valuable real estate in your entire pitch. Just put yourself in the client's shoes for a second. When they post a job, they get flooded with applications. On their dashboard, they do not see your beautifully crafted 500-word essay. Nope, they only see the first two sentences in a tiny preview window. If those first two lines are boring, generic, or just entirely about you, boom, they're going to hit archive and never even open the rest of your pitch. Let's look at this comparison. On the left, we have a hilariously bad, yet somehow incredibly common, generic greeting like Dear Sir or Madam. Compare that to a highly targeted one like, Hi, David. That generic greeting, it just screams copy and paste and practically guarantees an instant archive. But using their actual name builds this instant personal connection and proves right out of the gate that you took the time to research them. And if you're wondering how to find their name, it's easy. Just scroll down to their past client history and look at the feedback left by previous freelancers. 9 times out of 10, somebody mentions their first name. Okay, now for the hook. Instead of doing this generic resume dump starting with, I have 9 years of experience, try something hyper-specific. Something like, I see you need a 15-foot banner and provide a minimum of 3 different designs. The harsh truth is, the client doesn't care about your 9 years of experience yet. They only care about solving their immediate problem. The expert method here is to immediately address that specific pain point, ideally using the exact words they use in their own job description. So here's your exact structural flow for the perfect cover letter. Notice how this acts like a funnel, guiding them from generic to hyper-specific as they read down. Step 1, use their name. Step 2, address their pain point immediately in that first sentence so they actually click to open it. Step 3, provide hyper-specific proof that you can solve this exact issue. And Step 4, offer one single call to action at the very end. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, show proof, not promises. You have got to show proof, not just make empty promises. Clients are honestly exhausted by freelancers claiming they are certain they fully understand the requirements. Stop telling them and start showing them. Let's say a client is hiring for a React development job. Please don't be that freelancer who attaches a bunch of Python projects just because you're super proud of them. You want to be the one attaching hyper-relevant React projects. Listen closely here. Clients only care about past work that perfectly matches their current job. Keep it tailored. If they asked for apples, do not show them your award-winning oranges. Now, if you really want to stand out from the crowd, try this highly effective strategy. Record a personalized Loom video audit. So many proposals today are just pure AI-generated fluff. So when a client gets a message saying, "Hey, I made you a quick video audit of your project, here's the link," they are incredibly likely to click it out of sheer curiosity. It shows massive effort on your part, establishes instant authority, and proves you're an actual human being who understands their business. Another really powerful way to show proof is through hard data. Don't just say, "Hey, I'm a good marketer." Say, "I recently optimized product pages that are now doing a 3% return on ad spend." To put that into perspective, using hard, specific numbers builds massive trust. It signals to the client that you aren't just out there checking off basic tasks, you're actually tracking real business results. All right, on to section 4, formatting for the skimmer. Look, the visual layout of your proposal is honestly just as important as the words themselves. If your proposal looks like this giant, dense wall of text, the client is going to mentally check out before they even read a single word. You have got to format for the skimmer. Keep those paragraphs short and punchy, like 1 or 2 sentences max. Use bolding to highlight your key terms and your big metrics. Toss in a few tasteful emojis just to break up the text and add some visual interest. Clients definitely notice and appreciate that visual effort. Also, do not sleep on the power of the PS at the bottom of your message. People will constantly skip straight to the bottom of a pitch, but they almost always read the PS. Drop your absolute most compelling hook or result right there. Now, for wrapping it all up, asking a million questions in your initial proposal, huge mistake. It just overwhelms the client. The only action the client should take from your proposal is booking a quick call with you. That's it. Wrap it up cleanly with something like, "I've got a few ideas on how to execute this. Let's book a 10-minute call this week to discuss." It's simple, it's confident, and it is completely frictionless. Finally, section 5, protect your freelance business. This is arguably the most crucial step for transitioning from a beginner to a top-tier earner who actually builds sustainable wealth on the platform. Think about it. What actually separates the freelancers who genuinely get paid top dollar from those who end up working for free and getting completely taken advantage of? Well, it's not just about winning the job. It's about making absolutely sure that money actually hits your bank account. And the big secret here? Actually reading and understanding the Upwork's terms of service. Now, I know that sounds incredibly boring, but every single $1 million freelancer treats the TOS like a $10,000 employment contract. If you don't understand how payment protection works, how escrow functions, or why you need to keep your communications on the platform, you are eventually going to end up doing unpaid, unapproved work. You might deliver a whole week's worth of effort only for the client to turn around and say, "Thanks, but I never officially approved this milestone." Know the rules of engagement, folks. It protects your time and, more importantly, it protects your money. So there you have it, the definitive golden rules for Upwork proposals. From locking down your targeting and mastering those all-important first 2 lines, to showing undeniable proof, formatting like an absolute pro, and fiercely protecting your hard-earned cash. The entire blueprint is right here in front of you. So my final question to you is this. Using this playbook, what high-paying project are you going to win today? Take these strategies, apply them to your very next pitch, and just watch your response rate soar. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Get out there and happy hunting.